Hey guys, here's that 830 again. Sorry I haven't put a video up in like 2 months. I got past my 1,000 subscribers and I got busy with my new project, which is building a brewery. Yeah, building a brewery. But I still got a couple tapes left on the 830 before we got to a point where some decisions have to be made. So, I hope you enjoy this video coming up. We're waiting for the seat spring. I got to get that ordered up. Probably should get a new steering wheel, don't you think? So Connor and I, or is it Connor and me?
Connor and I.
I knew it. So anyway, we carved out a little time today. We're working on throttle. And Connor just threaded this rod, and we got it on a heim joint, and we got to figure out how we're going to map a throttle to go from here all the way up to the throttle up on the steering column. Now, we want to keep things as original as possible. The original fuel injection pump was on the other side of the motor, so we've got to transfer that motion to this side, another rod here, and then a rod running down to that. So I'm going to start bending this rod around and see if we can make it work. I just hope this isn't too light a material. I do my hammer. Okay, we've gotten this far on this throttle linkage. We're hooked up to the injector pump. I bend it around. We got all that stuff looking pretty good. But our ratio is off. So basically what it is this moves about 1.25 inches right here. But this moves about 4 inches when you fully move the throttle handle. It goes way down like that. That moves that so far, so we have to change our ratio. And we could leave it like this, Connor, just that the throttle would be like, just touch the throttle would be right there.
Too fussy.
Too twitchy.
Yeah, way too twitchy.
So we're gonna hook something to here, go down to here, just make this between here and here longer. Yeah, I think will that work or won't it? Yeah, that'll work.
Yeah, longer is better.
Longer is better. We gotta get longer. The pivot point between, the ratio between the bar and the end of this rod, or the end of this, the pivot point has to change. We need a longer pivot point. And you know what, Connor? We're gonna have to make it as long as we can and be happy with it, because we may not get the full ratio.
No, I know. If we can get to the point, see this throttle has got a built-in fail-safe as far as overextending, where it stops moving, but you get a little bit of play.
Right, and then you stop advancing the throttle.
Stop advancing the throttle. So as long as we get to that point, we'd be in good shape.
That would be ideal.
Yeah. Yep. And then look, you can push idle without it moving forward. Mm-hmm. It's only one way.
Right.
Which is good, which means we want to lean more toward having full throttle idle.
Right.
Because we can idle down, it just hits idle and boom, it's there. Then you pull on this and then it starts picking up. After an inch, who cares? And then you don't overdo it with full throttle. So, you know what I mean? So we need to base everything off full throttle.
Okay. I wish we just tack welded that to see how things are moving. We're gonna have to unhook that weld.
Yeah.
And reposition that.
Yeah.
So not a big deal. Gotta unhook all that stuff and do that. All right, well, at least we're making some progress.
Oh, we're making good
We also don't want it to make it look like it's clunky and like we made it at home.
Yeah, we want it to kind of look
kind of look factory-ish if we can.
Smart as can be.
Easier said than done. The pedal will work. The pedal will just go along with everything else.
Sure.
Well, it looks like we got this figured out. We had to add to this. It looks kind of crappy right now. We're going to trim that up and make it look better. Once it's painted, it'll look fine. It's a little stiff because of that bolt. We got to get like a vibration nut on there so that nut can't loosen up, but it can't be too tight. Right now you got a little snug, don't you?
I just loosened it. So
and it made it better? Yeah. So everything's working. I got to get nuts on this. I don't have a couple things we just don't have. So I got to grab a couple things out at the store. But yeah, we got it working, huh, Con?
Yeah, I think we get the things we need and then we mess with them more.
Yep.
And put them on, see if it still works right, and then go from there.
Yep. But we got full throttle with full handle with full throttle, even though that only moves 1.25 inches and that moves 4 inches, so we had to do a ratio gizmo thing.
Yeah, which we effectively did.
But it works.
Yeah.
And no one's more surprised than me. So yeah, I gotta cut that and trim that because we don't want to. This is a piece of angle iron for a garage door.
It's pretty thick stuff though.
Just
It's
clean
not
it
the
up.
cheesy stuff. It's good.
Yeah.
Just make it look pretty.
All right. Well, that ain't bad. Well, we're putting more of this thing together. We got a fender on for the most part, but we're just mocking things up. I got our hoses on. I got our filters on. Connor mocked up where the radiator can go. We got to come up with a different hose because the radiator has a smaller outlet. This is 2.5. The radiator's 2. I got to see if I can find a special hose. What do you got now, Con?
Problems.
We got problems.
Yeah, a little bit. That is right where our new throttle linkage setup goes.
Oh, it's such a bummer.
Boy, is it.
Now, what part is the whole? If we take this off,
Yeah,
put a plug
that
there, will
goes-
it clear?
No, I don't know if it will. We might have to cut this down, thread it, and put a plug in. Which you could do, because I've got pipe thread tabs.
You got pipe taps, yeah.
So I'm going to drain this completely so that we don't make a mess.
Okay, so we figure we can dent this to get it so it passes the throttle linkage. This, we're going to take a hole saw, and we're going to saw a hole, saw that right out, weld a patch there, and move this to the other side, only not in a way.
I'm going to move it somewhere where it makes sense.
Probably about here would be fine. The other side, because if we put it anywhere here, it'll be in room of the battery box, the
Yeah,
batteries.
I don't want to do that.
So we got to watch out for the batteries. We got to put it where it's just going to clear. Well, we can figure that out once we take that off.
Well, further back on the other side is what we're going to do.
Further back on the other side, and it'll be on the other side where the fuel's got to come
Our
anyway.
fuel line a lot easier.
Yeah. So we're killing 2 birds, 1 stone a little.
Well, yeah, I guess.
Too bad we got to kill any birds, but whatever.
Kill a bird.
So this is the spot we're talking about right here. It'll wind up on the bottom of that tank. It'll live in just about this location here. And then the fuel line will come down and go over and get into the fuel pump. But that's something we can rig up, although this is a pain in the neck. And this is how it works. I mean, you just got to bend it around that, I guess, because if you look at it, that lines up with that pretty much perfectly in the way.
It's down. It has a 90.
Oh, there's a 90 there?
There is a 90.
Oh, I see it. Okay, so we got to come in that way. Now that won't be the end of the world. So we have to come down, I'll come around like this, out of the way of that, and then up in. Okay. Well, it looks like I got it mostly tapped down. Let me show you how I did it. Because I got to do a little more. I'll back it up with this hammer. Baby taps. Just enough to bend it each time, a little bit. And I got it so it's dented in. I think that rod will go past that now. Okay, so looks like Connor already fixed the tank. Nice little welds. That looks good. That looks good. He moved from here to here.
Yep. I had 2 different sized hole saws.
Yeah.
They're an 1/8 inch apart. I got a 2 1/8 and a 2 inch. And you cut the part you want to weld back in bigger.
Right.
That'll be this inside diameter. And then you cut where you want to put it with the smaller hole saw.
Oh, wow.
And it just fit real nice to do a flush weld. Mm-hmm. And
That just fit right in there perfect.
yeah, and then you could do
'Cause
the
the weld
same
looks
thing
good.
if you had 3 hole saws to patch this, but I just took a piece of metal and
And how did you do it without putting a hole in the center?
I just did it on the shear. Yeah.
On a
I
shear?
took the hole saw, yeah, and I traced around it, and I just slowly crimped.
Oh, okay. That's clever.
That's actually not instep. That's lapped over,
Oh, it's lapped over.
but it's very
Okay.
close. So yeah.
Nice. All right,
I just
so
want
that's
to
good.
grind this one a little prettier. I gotta check the pressure, see if it bubbles.
Yeah. So, little pressure test.
I don't think it's gonna leak. To be honest with you.
Oh, it looks pretty good to me.
Unless there's a porous weld in there.
Yeah. Looking good, Con.
Yep. So we can put that on, and this just cleared. I want to dink it just a little bit more, but I
gotta
had
do
it
more
in
dinking?
place. When I cut this out, I put it in place to see.
All right. I'll have to lay it on its side and do it like I did before. That really worked out pretty nice.
Yeah.
I'll just keep pounding with the body hammer.
Just a little more.
I could make it a little, there's like a high spot here. I'll work it. Well, there it is. That looks pretty good, Connor.
Yep. Got to weld the other side.
Can we grind it off a little?
Real smooth, yeah.
Yeah.
That's where the tube rides.
I want to cut the tube.
Really, to make it smooth, you could do some JB weld around everything to make it smooth.
That would make it nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
that
it
stuff.
Because you don't want it.
I seem to be becoming a JB Weld believer. I don't know.
Oh, I am. If nothing else, for like a Bondo scenario, it's like gotta get all welded
yeah.
off the ground, and then it's gonna look factory-ish.
Yeah, that's gonna look pretty
It really
factory-ish.
is. People won't be able to tell once that's welded and ground.
And painted.
Yep. Because this is what it's supposed to look like. We got the real deal over here. Same concept. Mine might be a little bit bigger.
Yeah, I think yours is a little bigger, but I think it's going to be great.
But that's okay. It's in there.
Nice.
Sure.
All right.
This rim's probably $500, or at least.
I'll bet more.
Maybe
Gotta be more.
6 or 7 at this point.
It's a big rim
So it's definitely worth the time.
with the spin out gizmo, whatever that is.
I don't particularly like the spin outs. If I ever change the rims, I think I just go stationary.
Yeah,
You know, get the other clamps.
but we won't, because we'll just dig up another tractor.
I know, that is the problem.
We'll trip into another tractor first. So anyway, we put the tank on. Boy, it looks bigger with the tank on it, Connor. It sure changed things. So, this looks like it's going to be just right. I just got to put that thing there and shoot it over here and get to the fuel.
Yep.
So we just got to get it on there.
The fuel
line, probably straight down here. Straight down here, over to here, through here and up into that.
Yep.
Nice. But boy, that really, it's funny how a little thing like this, but it really makes the tractor bigger again.
Yeah, it's getting huge.
It's getting big again. Starting to realize how big this thing really is. Mm-hmm. Cool.
Tall tractor.
Sooner or later, we got to start running out of parts to put on this thing. Yeah, you heard me. But we are running out, and as you run out, things become more evident. Like these guys, I had no clue where these went. But I finally figured out, and Connor seconded the motion. These go here, and they wind up holding the hydraulic hoses. You all right over there?
Yeah, that was quick.
Connor's getting the lathe going, because we're probably going to have to turn the bushing, the new bushing we got for the clutch pedal. And this thing came together pretty good today. We got a bunch of stuff done. Oh, we got the fuel tank on, got the one line on. That looks good.
Yeah, it does. It looks nice.
And I don't know. Got
Yeah,
the
so it's just a return line.
hydraulic lines. Yeah, I just got to
But
get
that's
that
low
return.
pressure. You could really do that with hose.
I could. Well, that's low pressure. That's just gravity.
Yeah, you're
I'm going to see if I can find the right size tubing.
That's just a suck hose, but
If I could find the right tubing, I'll probably do it with tube. I'll put a loop in it.
yeah.
This one has this bend here that should take out some of the, because there's got to be movement between that and that, I imagine. Maybe not. All right, now I got to do something about a radiator hose, but I got thinking, if I get an 1.5 Fernco, I can stick it on there as a bushing kind of thing and then put a couple clamps on it, and I think it'll be all right with the original hose. And I want to change this hose too, because that didn't fit right. Well, we got a ton of stuff to do still, don't we? So it's starting to look bigger and bigger all the time because we keep adding parts. And as we're adding parts, we're also figuring out where parts go. So I figured out the hydraulic lines. I got them on there. But I've got this return line here because I got to return from here, the top of the injectors, up to the tank. And I don't have a piece that's like this. I got a piece of brake line, but it's just slightly smaller. So I got to find out what kind of line this is so I can make up another line. And I'll use these ends, and I'll see if I can find the new rubber gaskets. Starting to run out of parts. Hope you guys liked that video. Like, share, subscribe. See you on the next one.